ITV debates biased format failed to allow Boris Johnson to answer the questions, and Westminster hacks on Twitter freak out over Tory HQ making a joke. Now, last night we had the first leaders' debate during the 2019 general election between Boris Johnson and Jeremy Corbyn. This debate was hosted by the ITV and Julie Etchingham, who was the presenter and the host. And so we were quite excited to see what each leader, what they're going to be saying, what they're going to be offering the country. But we couldn't actually hear either of them because the format was absolutely ridiculous. Firstly, they allowed the audience to intervene and clap every 2 seconds, which was just bad. And also, the presenter, the host, Julie Etchingham, kept interrupting each leader. But specifically, her target was Boris Johnson. And so Boris basically only had 25 seconds to answer any question before she interrupted him during each answer.
You to a close.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Let's be. The union is, of course, the most important thing. Just to answer the question straight out, the union, and it's a fantastic thing. I'm proud to be not only Prime Minister but also Minister for the Union.
So it slowly started from there when Boris was talking, and then we got to the point about Scottish referendum. Before Boris even managed to finish his point, this happened.
I listened Julie, I listened very carefully, as I always do, to Mr. Corbyn. I didn't hear him say he was going to rule out a referendum on Scotland. Did you? We're ruling out a referendum. It's perfectly clear. It's perfectly clear that the price of Nicola Sturgeon's support for the chaotic coalition that he would comprise is a second referendum.
And then from there, it got worse and worse.
Who have already said that they would vote against it. Most of the shadow cabinet.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Corbyn,
the only problem.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. A quick response.
The only problem with what.
Yep, and then this.
Have a great deal that enables us to do it. I'm unclear as to why it's necessary to spend another year in a debate about Brexit, which is as far as says.
And this.
Our objective is to have a health service that is not just better for doctors and nurses, but better for patients as well. We can achieve that only if we have a strong economy.
Now, this last one was absolutely ridiculous. She asked about climate change and what each party are going to be doing about it. And Boris literally had his opening line sorted. He said, yes, it's important. We have to also get Brexit done to start focusing on climate change. And then she stopped him again.
I agree that climate change is the biggest issue in our country today. Mr. Johnson.
I think it's a colossal issue for the entire world. And the UK is meeting that challenge with the most far-reaching ambition to get to carbon neutral by 2050. And I know you're not wanting me to say this, but we need to get Brexit done in order.
Yeah, this went on all night. And the viewers across the country were outraged because the format didn't work. Boris Johnson hardly had any time to talk, whereas Jeremy Corbyn, his method and his style was to just speak slowly and in a boring way. He was trying to come across as a statement, but it just didn't really go well. But she allowed him to talk. He could just talk and talk and talk, and she just didn't really mind. Because Boris was more combative and kind of punchy, she just didn't like that. So the moment he started saying something, she completely stopped. Boris, but the best line of the night was about spending and monetary. And the best line came from Boris Johnson.
At the last election, we were told by your predecessor, Mr. Johnson, that there was no magic money tree. Have you found a magic money tree, Mr. Johnson? And have you found perhaps more than one of them, Mr. Corbyn?
No, we're operating. Money forest he's got. Money forest he's got. Money forest he's got. We're operating with.
Now, I've always said these TV debates don't actually help anyone decide who they're going to vote and how they're going to vote, but it's just a bit of fun. Don't think anyone learned anything from last night. I don't think either leader actually won. I think the leader, the winner of last night's debate was anyone who wasn't actually watching that debate, because the format was terrible. The audience were infuriating. I don't know why they allow these people to clap every 2 seconds. I prefer the American style of debates where the audience just don't clap, just watch. That's the whole point. And unless something extraordinary happens, and fine, you could intervene. But the other thing that happened last night during the debate was that Tory HQ, their Twitter account, they tried to have a bit of fun, which backfired massively. With the CCHQ press office, their account, they changed the name to, not the whole name because it still has CCHQ underneath, but the Twitter handle changed it to Fact Check UK. And this was a bit of fun to troll the Westminster hacks, but also the Labour Party. At the end of the debate, for example, they immediately tweeted, Boris Johnson is the clear winner in tonight's debate. That's their verdict. But also throughout the whole debate itself, they were giving out kind of lines to expose Jeremy Corbyn's lies when he said that he's got a plan to get Brexit sorted. They rebutted, and that was going on throughout the whole debate itself. Now, what happened afterwards was that the Westminster hacks and the people who live on Twitter were quite offended. They were upset. Now, this stunt was just a troll. And it was a bit silly, obviously. It was unnecessary. I don't think they gained anything from it. But that's the whole point. It was just a bit of fun because Twitter is not real life. It's not the real life. But these people don't get it because everybody, journalists and the opposition politicians, they were crying around, running around crying because they thought, this is it, you're misleading the public. Now everyone's going to be voting Tory. It's like the whole Vote Leave bus all over again, £350 million. But they don't understand the difference between real life and Twitter. But the outrage actually, the hypocrisy of this outrage lies here because the Labour Party have this Twitter account. Labour have a Twitter account called The Insider that claims to be, it says trust the facts, not the waffle. So it's actually a Labour account giving you facts, information and comments that you can trust. Where is the outrage? No one actually minds this account going around spreading actual propaganda. The Tory HQ one was just a bit of fun. This one is actually misrepresenting facts and framing it differently. And you think that was bad? Alistair Campbell, or the arch Remainer, who wants some attention because it's been a while since anyone's actually talked about him. He also went on Twitter. He changed his Twitter name to Boris Johnson and started tweeting vile and unnecessarily sexist tweets. So he tweeted on behalf of Boris Johnson, who pretended to be Boris, saying, "Off for a quick post-debate F. Hope Carrie's not back yet." He also tweeted, "I wish this bird would stop asking me to shut up. Why isn't she in the kitchen?" But I wish he tweets more things like this. "I'm a liar and a charlatan." But it's not going to happen. Now, another example of the media completely ignoring the real outrage that was supposed to be focused on campaigns and parties lying to the public, it continues. The other one is the Labour Party, who had a broadcast, the political broadcast video about the NHS, and they had a fake nurse in the video. And they had to basically pull out the video because of that. And no one, have you seen it on the BBC News or Sky News? No, we haven't. The Labour Party in Wales has pulled an election broadcast featuring a fake nurse who is really an actor. In the film, which was shown on Tuesday on TV on various channels, the nurse tells the viewers how a trade deal with the US President Donald Trump is a threat to the NHS. The actor, dressed in a blue NHS-style uniform, told viewers, "We will increase the funding available to our NHS health service." Yeah, nothing in the media about this. Next is the actual Lib Dem bar charts. We've talked about this a lot on this channel, where the Liberal Democrats completely misrepresent the facts in each constituency and how the voters are expressing their opinions. Nothing in the news. Controversial Lib Dem bar charts suggesting that the party is neck and neck with the Tories can be misleading. One of the senior MPs has suggested these are the typical controversial bar charts that they are putting on their leaflets. For example, one included the Jacob Rees-Mogg's seats of North East Somerset, which put the Tories on 38% to the Lib Dems 32% and Labour on 8%, when in reality that wasn't true at all. Now, all this fake outrage was followed by this morning's interviews, breakfast shows, and Dominic Raab of the Conservative Party was on TV, and actually, rightly so, he completely destroyed all these arguments because, yes, what CCHQ did with the changing the name of the account to Fact Check UK was a bit silly, unnecessary, but they were just trolling, and that was the whole point. They got the media talking about them. Everyone's talking about them today now. But the claim that the public are now completely misled over some facts. I mean, the facts that they were tweeting were just some random pictures of Boris anyway. In this interview, Dominic Raab is told that there are people in Westminster who claim that, we are the fact checkers and we will tell people what the facts are, and you're not allowed to. And he rightly so said, well, who died, and make them god of fact checks.
Example from the fact-checking agency Full Fact, OK? They say it's inappropriate and misleading for the Conservative press office to rename their Twitter account Fact Check UK during this debate.
Well, you said Full Fact is the final arbiter of what the public get to see as the... There's no God-given right set in law. Or
They're not alone, are they?
Doesn't sound to me like they like the competition. But the reality is...
What about Twitter?
The reality is that voters will make of the competing claims, they do in any election what they will. What we're not going to do is have this nonsense that the NHS is up for sale, being put around by Jeremy Corbyn.
Let's talk about Twitter. Sorry to interrupt you.
Because that's what voters really care about in this election.
We're talking about...
And yes, as I said, Twitter is not the real life. Now, but we have the exclusive footage of the whole of Westminster hacks and the establishment reacting to Tory HQ changing their accounts.
How dare you! You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words.
Yes, how dare you? You've stolen their dreams. So this is the situation we have now, and yes, what the Tories did was a bit silly, it was unnecessary, but the strategy worked because everyone's now talking about them. But my advice is, don't do it again. It's not going to go down well, guys. It's a bad idea. So this is what we have now. Today we have a lot to talk about as well. So in the video that I'll be posting later today, we're going to find out more about the election and last night's reaction. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel and click on the bell next to it so you get notified when I release a new video. And I also have some good news for you guys. After a lot of requests, we have a new t-shirt design. We have the Get Brexit Done t-shirts, and you could find the link in the description, and you could also get this in the different forms of merchandise. There are obviously other t-shirt designs and everything else in the description as well. You can find them. If you have any design ideas, make sure you leave a comment below in the comment section. And if you want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram to stay up to date with the election news and Brexit news, you can find them down here. And as always, I'm Tousi, and I'll see you later on with a new video.